Good day, everyone. My name is Okunlola Toheeb Olaide, a student of University of Abuja, Library and Information Science Department. I want to be talking about software development lifecycle. This term is one of the age-old terms in software industry. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. It is a methodology that divides various strategy and steps for building high-quality software most efficiently. Software development lifecycle is a process used by the software industry to design, develop, test high-quality software. The SDLC aim is to produce high-quality software that meets or exceeds customer expectation, reaches completion within time and cost estimation. And furthermore, it can be defined as framework for defining tasks performed at each step in the software development process. We have 6 examples of software development lifecycle. Number 1, we have Waterfall Model, Agile Model, Iterative Model, V-Shape Model, Big Bang Model, and Spiral Model. So, in our group, we are discussing on the Waterfall Model. The Waterfall Model can be defined as model, which is classical model used in system development lifecycle to create system with a linear or sequential approach. It is termed as waterfall because the model develops systematically from one phase to another in a downward fashion. Example of this model is our customer relationship management, human resource management system, supply chain management system, inventory management system, point of sales system for retail chains. It is a POS, as we all know. And not to waste too much of my time, I want to be talking about the functions of the software development lifecycle. Number 1, the software development lifecycle allows having overarching control over software development process. That is, it allows the software to have control over what is produced. Number 2, improve resource management and cost effectiveness. That is, the resource that are produced, make the resource last long. That is, the management, how the resource is being used, and the cost effectiveness. It is not too expensive, and that will be affordable for people or the consumers. Give team a clear action plan. There will not be doubtness. And number 4, improve cooperation between participants, both the consumer and the producer. There will be a cooperation between the both sides. And it is important to remember that all the advantages of software development lifecycle will not work for team on their own if project manager lack expertise or some participants refuse to follow the process. The cycle will fall apart, influencing the quality of the final product. If there is no cooperation, it will affect the final production of that software, and it won't serve the purpose that is meant to be served. The characteristics of the waterfall model. The number 1, the software development process is divided into number of phases. This number is not fixed. There are many varieties. Number 2, every phase is initiated and by an approved kickoff document. that defines the scope and purpose of this phase. Number three, except for the first phase, the kick-off document is the product of the preceding phase. And note the key concept that a phase only starts when a kick-off document has been formally approved, and the kick-off document is discovered to be flawed. Works stop until the kick-off document is revised and approved. Thank you.
My name is Nwachukwu Chijioke Daniel, LIS student 300 level. We're going to be talking a brief about the waterfall model. But first, what is SDLC? A System Development Lifecycle. This consists of detailed plan describing of how to develop, maintain, replace, or probably enhance your system software. We could trace it far back to the 1950s. By that time, we all know that computer was not elaborate enough to necessitate the detailed approach that we needed. Thus, development came on and sparking the use of the SDLC, and it came to pass, or it came to be. Now, and there are different types of or different phases of system development life cycle. We have the waterfall model, we have the agile, we have the spiral, we have the V-shaped, and so many lots more. But let's talk about the waterfall model. This is a classic process model. It was the first to be introduced or first to be invented. It's very easy to use, very sweet, very simple to use. Examples of this waterfall model could be the, the human resource management and so many lots more. Let's talk about the unique selling points. But first, what is a unique selling point? Unique selling points are those ideas or are those ideologies that make your business or your company stand out, make it better, make it brighter, make it bigger, something that gives you the advantage over your competitors. And in using a waterfall model is very essential because once your company starts up something, your unique selling point is very essential to use because it's what is going to bring your customers or bring your business to your customers or to your users more importantly. And just as waterfall models is explained as a linear sequential curve or life cycle, it's step by step, stages by stages, and also it gives you that advantage opportunity in your business or your company to use. Is special, is simple, easy to use, and once your unique selling point is in place, I can assure you that your business is going to go smooth. And thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Tejidini Maryam Olamide with matric number 19 slash 204 LIB slash 030. I'm a member of Group 6 and our topic is software development lifecycle. So I'll be starting by defining software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle can be defined as a methodology that defines various steps in building a high quality software. The software development lifecycle involves different strategies that is used to build a quality software and efficient software that will meet the expectation of your customer. Then we have the example of the SDLC, we have the waterfall model, the agile model, the iterative model, the V-shaped model, the spiral model, and as well, and lastly, the Big Bang model. This model that has been listed can also serve as the types example or models of the software development life cycle. So when we are talking about the waterfall model, it is a model that uses linear sequential method. The development of system in this model is systematically from one phase to another in a downward fashion. A stage cannot be completed without the completion of a previous stage. That is, in this model, they cannot proceed if a stage is not completed. There is no overlapping in this model. So the definition of agile model involves the repetition of steps in software development. It defines the iteration number, duration, and scope in advance, e.g., extreme programming. So we're going with the definition of fish-shaped model. It is also known as verification or validation model. It is an advancement of waterfall model. It involves testing of each phases for corresponding cycle. Each phases will be tested before the development of the next phase. Then we have the Big Bang model and spiral model too. In this our topic, we have chosen waterfall model as an example that will be used to explain software development life cycle. So we'll be talking about the each phases steps that is involved in this waterfall model. So we have analyzed the unique selling specification, competitive advantages of waterfall model, and as well the characteristics of waterfall model. So I'll be talking about the specification of waterfall model and the competitive advantage of waterfall model. So when we are talking about the specification of waterfall model, this involves a document called software requirement specification. And a software development requirement specification is defined as a document that describes what the software will do and how the software is expected to perform. That is how the software is expected to perform a specific task being given to such software before it is eventually released into the market for customers usage. So in this software requirement specification, we have different steps and stages involved in this specification of waterfall model. Then in this specification of waterfall model, as we have talked about the SRL software requirement specification. So under the software requirement specification, we have different steps that is needed to be followed. Number one, we have the feasibility study, that is understanding your problem and as well finding possible solution to those problems. Then number two, we have the software requirement analysis and specification. So in this phase, the software requirements will be captured and documented. All what is needed to be used in this phase will be captured and documented. So the next stage is system design. So after documenting the various requirements from previous step, the system design follows. The system design specifies the hardware and the system requirement to use in software architecture. So following up with implementation with input from previous step, that is system design, implementing started the function and testing of different systems of different software requirements that has been stipulated. So now following up the implementation, we have the integration and testing. This stage is required to test and see if the system has any faults, errors and failure. So after being done with that step, we move forward to deployment of system. That is, you have understand your problem, you have captured and documented all the requirements for you. The system design, you have analyzed the software and the hardware to use. So after finishing the 5 steps mentioned earlier, so we move forward to deployment of system. Once the function and non-functional testing is done, the product is then deployed into customers environment. That is, the product is released into the market. That is, so making the software accessible to customer. So the maintenance is the last step required in this software requirement specification. And this involve the upgrading the software released to the customer environment. So next I will be talking about the competitive advantage of waterfall model, thereby defining what competitive advantage is and also listing out the various advantages of waterfall model of a company using waterfall model in carrying out and developing their various software. So competitive advantage can be defined as a factor that allows a company to produce goods or services more improved than its rivals. Can also be defined as a company product, making a company product more desirable to customer than of same product company. That is, competitive advantage means what makes you special in the market, whereby you have same people or same company selling exact product that you are giving out. So what makes you different from them, or what makes you to be customer desirable, what make customer to be wanting your product more and more, what is making the customer to prefer your product than to the other same product company. example that like example like what is making iPhone users to keep on using their iPhone, and what is making Samsung users to keep on patronizing their Samsung company. So in this in this presentation we are using waterfall model. So what is making people using waterfall model to be more desirable than people using other models, or the same, or some other people using that same model? What are the techniques that you improve, that you instill in that your production and development of software that is making customers to come for more in your own company? So the competitive advantages that I listed out here are: number one is usually clear structure. For any company that is using a waterfall model, a waterfall model uses a set of methods, defined set of methods or steps set aside in completion of a system, no overlapping. Then number two, high visibility. This brings about high brand awareness by analyzing the output of each stage. Remember, when you talk about this software requirement specification, you are moving from feasibility study gradually to software requirement specification and analysis, then to system design, and so on and so forth. So this high visibility makes customers to be more attractive to a company uses using waterfall model in developing their software. So quality assurance test. A company using waterfall model for software development will always do testing of each stage before proceeding to the next stage. Yes. So number four, we have accumulation of business expansion of knowledge. So using this model will make them to think more in upgrading and improving their software release into the customer's environment. So in conclusion to all what I have said, waterfall model has been the first model introduced in software development. It is very exceptional because it defines each stages involved in developing software, each stages and step involved in software development. No overlapping, no jumping from a stage without the completion of previous stage. This has made it more efficient and more desirable, and a company going into software development can as well make use of this waterfall model as their strategy in making and developing different software. Thank you for listening.